Well, let's talk about some of the races that are traditional Democrat versus Republican. And of course, you continually hear the desire and the likelihood of the Democrats retaking control of the Senate with a slightly less chance in the House. You being the strategist and the operative, what do you think the Democrats' chances are?
I think pretty good. I mean, Democrats are going to gain seats against the Republicans in the Senate for sure. The question is how many. Will we? I think most estimates are that we'll win at least 3 or 4, which would mean if Hillary Clinton wins the presidency and Tim Kaine is the vice president, we could be in a situation where it's a 50-50 tie in the Senate, and then the Democrats would have it because of the vice president. Kaine would break that tie. But it's likely to be a slim Democratic majority at this point. I think prior to the Comey letter, I think there was a real chance that things could break open, and it could be, bigger. And that could still happen, but I think the Comey letter has kind of shook things up enough that it may affect turnout and some other things, and so not sure we're going to have the as big gains down ballot as we were hoping for.
Well, we are talking about the news that broke on Friday night. And of course, we're taping this on Sunday evening, still 9 days or so away from the actual election itself. And FBI Director Comey has decided to break with tradition and weigh in on the election, having lost, of course, in the Whitewater cases as Ken Starr's lead prosecutor and then lost as FBI director on the emails. Now he's, in the last 11 days, done something completely strange. How is Washington reacting to this disclosure? And then, more importantly, how does that ripple out across the country?
Well, I mean, look, I think what's strange about it is the proximity to the election. I mean, he may really believe he needed to do something, or I can understand why, and there are those in Washington that understand why he thought he needed to look at these emails. The question is, why announce it when there's no way he's even going to look at them between now and the election? There's no way to come to any finality, so all it does is throw things up in the air, allows Trump and the Republicans to make charges that they have no idea whether the charges they're making are true or not, because the FBI hasn't even looked at these. They don't even have a warrant yet at the time we're talking to look at these things. So I wouldn't necessarily characterize that he lost when he made his July comments, but a lot of people didn't think he should have made those comments, has gone out as far as he did then, even in terms of making a public pronouncement. This one, I mean, from July, both parties had time to make their case, et cetera. We're doing this 11 days out has just created an environment where there's a pall over. I mean, people are scratching their heads. What does this mean? Of course, the Republicans are using it for partisan gain. And by the way, I don't blame them. Of course, they're going to. The guy to blame is Comey. Why do this now? And he hasn't explained that. So we'll see. I think it could have an impact on the one interesting thing I was going to say it could have an impact on turnout. The interesting thing is it seems to have, while it's clearly emboldened the Trump campaign, it's clearly also fired up the Democratic base. I mean, there is a lot of anger, and I think before the letter, there were a lot of Democrats that you were starting to hear, I don't have to do anything, she's going to win anyway, we're going to win. I think there's enough anger that it may actually stoke an increased Democratic turnout. We'll see. Hey, we're 9 days out. In this election year, anything could happen.